What'd you say to me, you little Bro! Die!
It's going to be very difficult for him to get anything going. 10 seconds left. Speed is not a suitable defense!
This is so laggy. Holy moly! We literally lost to these guys because of lag! I'm gonna break someday! Sorry. I hate when stuff isn't in my control. I hate it so goddamn much. I can't play it until it's fixed. I can't play this lag. This is PUBG all over again, dude. I can't! Woo!
The distraction comes in from Fusion. Super gets a kill. Super going wild. Mayday finally brings him down, though. And they can't get in there.
And they were overextending that. I didn't see the frag Nifty got, but then still a challenging bit of, oh my goodness, did you see that?
Yeah, trying to walk through the smoke, but it's just not going to happen. SK Gaming, second major championship in a row. They are your winners.
It's all on Forest. He gets the first. He doesn't get the second.
I think I kind of dabbled in a few to begin with, obviously, but my first proper one that I really dived into was Halo 3.
I got into video games through my dad, actually. He's always been a big gamer, and he introduced me and my sister to it when we were quite young. And I always enjoyed playing games with him, and then eventually playing games with my own friends when I grew up. And it was a nice family bonding thing that eventually turned into a hobby of mine.
So do you watch any sort of esports at all?
Yeah, I would say I'm quite an avid watcher of esports in general. I mean, like I say, when I was really getting into CS:GO, that's kind of the main part of the esports I watched was the CS:GO tournaments. I mean, because that's kind of the only real competitive game I knew at the time. And then obviously as I started expanding into other games like Rainbow Six Siege, which came out maybe couple years ago, I think, maybe 3 years ago, and then that obviously got its own esports scene. A lot of YouTubers have videos of them playing games, but watching esports is essentially, obviously it's very different, but you know, you're going to watch people play a game that you like, and then there is that aspect of trying to learn tips from the pros and seeing how they're playing, but then also, yeah, like you say, the teams do have their own personalities, the team players and stuff. It's sometimes good to, if you do like personalities from certain members on a team, you then can grow to like kind of support that team as they go into the tournaments. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of in a way like supporting a football team.
I'm not the biggest fan of FPS, but I think that's mostly because of the community. That's the kind of the loudest community.
Loudest community? What does that mean?
They're the ones that I think try to get more attention because it is one of the bigger game genres, and a lot of popular games are that genre. They can be quite competitive games. There's a lot of loud people in the sense of they try to commandeer the whole conversation, the whole game. It's kind of a case of who can be the loudest to get the most attention half the time or show how good they are.
So how has online gaming changed the social climate of gaming being seen as an antisocial hobby?
Well, with online gaming, I feel like you have a wider reach of being able to communicate to people across the world. People that you wouldn't normally speak to every day because you happen to by chance bump into them. Online gaming, you already start off with a hobby that you both share, and instantly that sparks off a conversation that can lead to a friendship a lot of the time. Not all the time, but I've made a good few friends online who I've met through gaming, who I still talk to over the years, and I wouldn't have met those people if I didn't play games with them online. I would not have met them. I probably wouldn't have had such a wide variety of friends across the world if I didn't do online gaming.
Do you think online FPS games should be taken more or less seriously?
Oh, that's interesting.
I personally would say I kind of am supportive of them going towards a more hardcore demographic in the sense of, you know, it's down to kind of the real skill of the players, although it depends kind of on the specific game in some circumstances, but I think I'm supportive on that it should be kind of going more in that direction, in my opinion anyway.
I think for a lot of the main games, like Call of Duty and that, maybe less seriously. I think if you want to take the game super seriously, that's fine, but maybe play with people who do also take the game as seriously as you do, because some people are just playing for fun, and you can't fault them for that either. So I would just try and surround yourself in the environment you want to be in, and not force others into your own environment in that way.
So, do you know what SBMM is?
It sounds familiar, but you may as well remind me.
It's a anagram for skill-based matchmaking.
Oh yeah.
It's been a recent topic of issue
Yeah, I
in
understand.
FPS games.
I fully agree with the skill-based matchmaking system in terms of when it comes to competitive games, the systems aren't always the best in the sense of you go in trying to play with people on your skill level and then up against people playing on what they call Smurf accounts, where they create a new account to play against lower skilled players, even though they're clearly not. That's always been a problem in competitive games though.
I think it should be an option, not mandatory all the time. I think there should be options, because I'm not sure how you would keep it skill-based while still allowing people to kind of relax a bit. So I think it should just maybe be an optional thing that you can opt into, because I think it can be useful for people who want to play with people their own skill level, but I think it shouldn't be so mandatory in some games.
Do you think microtransactions are a good thing, or are they detrimental to the player experience?
In my opinion, it depends on the business model of said game. If it was, for example, a game like Rainbow Six Siege, where they have new characters coming out which have new weapons and new gadgets, I suppose that's fair, because if you buy the base game, you know, you don't have to have these extra ones. You've got a fair amount for when you've bought the game. So I think it depends most on the business model, and also as long as it's more so cosmetic and not so giving you an advantage over other players.
Some people pay for a game so that they can play it forever and enjoy it, and I understand free games needing money in some way. I just don't think there are some games that definitely are, if you pay your way through, you're guaranteed to win, you're guaranteed to have the best stats, the best equipment.
Yeah.
I think that just can be a bit unfair for those who can't afford that and just want to play a game, and then they're being absolutely destroyed by people who can afford to buy all the fancy stuff. I just don't think it should be pay to win. I think it should be pay to get something special or customize things a certain way, or maybe a DLC. That's fine, but it shouldn't affect the core game too much.
There are other issues also when talking about microtransactions that I have researched into. When you incentivize essentially gambling to younger audiences and exploiting younger, more impressionable people. Because some people even have gambling issues, which the game industry has not even like properly addressed before. They just sort of like accept it and like allow that to be a present issue in their games when they allow more and more microtransactions and RNG based loot boxes and, you know, stuff like that.
I think games aimed towards younger kids shouldn't really have microtransactions, because the kids don't quite understand money at that age. And obviously they'd probably be using their parents' card. And like you said, it does invoke a sense of gambling in some ways, especially ones where it's like pay some money for a random item you don't know what you're gonna get, and it's often rigged to a way that you keep paying, and the more you pay out, the better of the item you'll get in the end. Like, I tested gambling games and it's turned me right off them. It's not worth it.
Right.
It's not worth it.